I've started forcing loved ones to engage in my obsessions. My obsessions being the entire discography, released and unreleased, that the man, the myth, the legend, Donald Glover, a.k.a. Childish Gambino, a.k.a. MC DJ, has produced.
AKA the boy.
A.k.a. the boy.
I listen.
You listen. So we're going to continue on that. We're going to do a part 2 of the ultimate retrospective on Donald Glover.
Now, you said to me the other day, I feel like my brain is broken and I can't listen to anything other than Donald Glover. You said, I've gone back to radio because I go to music apps and I don't know what else to click on.
Yeah, it's true. I keep listening to these albums over and over again. Like I mentioned last week. So for those of you who didn't listen last week.
First of all, what are you doing here?
Maybe go back, listen to part 1. But what I've gone and done is I've listened to 28 assorted releases by Donald Glover, excluding some, singles and things. I have a rule set. I listened to all of them. All up, the hours are it's 20-something hours of music. I've listened to them all multiple times. I've gone on internet deep dives. I've read blog posts. I've
read a screenplay.
I read a screenplay. I went on 2013 Tumblr. I went on the Wayback Machine to find out posts of what was happening at the time, really get a sense into connecting this world of music. And instead of doing this chronologically, giving a big rundown, I thought it would be really fun to set up a little game for Reuben where I've printed out each of the album artworks, the release artworks, and then separately, I have the names of each of the albums because with all of the artworks, I've removed any semblance of the title of the release. So last week we went through The Younger I Get, we went through MC DJ Presents Fuck Yourselves, Mystery Team EP, Summer Pack, a Charlie Brown remix, Awaken My Love, Applesauce, which is a Fiona Apple remix album, Because the Internet, and Love Letter in an Unbreakable Bottle. This week, we've got a few more to do. Maybe the stumpiest ones. I feel like you're not over the hump of matching
I'm not at all. Can I have a preliminary question?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Well, I have 2. First of all, how did you remove the text from some of these? Because I'm looking at them and they're full.
A lot of effort. Some of them don't have text. Quite a few of them didn't.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I'm looking at some of these and I'm like, there's no room to write anything on here. But the actual question that I have is, could you tell me if any of these are not facing the right way up right now?
Okay, so
like I would like to see them all in their correct orientation.
For sure. So this...
I know they're all upside down for you, so I apologize for that. And I will excuse you for the white and black squares. If they're the wrong way, that's fine.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the white and black squares. Those should be fine. This one I've just...
Yeah.
This grey one that does say MC DJ on it, I've just rotated 90 degrees. This one
I was wondering about.
With the pink splat is actually correct.
Wow.
The way up. And this one...
Oh my God, that one's just autumn leaves covering the whole thing.
With the autumn leaves, that's also correctly.
Wow.
The way up. So
and these two?
Those are correct. These ones with the sunsets.
Okay, great. Yes, knew it.
Which one do you want to go for first? Which one do you want to guess? Because that's how we're going through this. Every time Reuben matches them correctly, we chat about it. And I have extensive notes. I have over 10 pages of notes on this fucking man's musical endeavors.
Well, last episode, I guessed Kawai for the Summer Pack art, and you said that does give Kawai vibes. And you have just confirmed that those two over there are sunsets, which is what I thought. So I'm going to guess that Kawai is this beach-looking one.
You're wrong.
I'm going to guess that Kawai is this other beach-looking one.
You are correct. So Kawai, this one was released on the 3rd of October, 2014. This one was released maybe as a dual release for another album.
You reckon?
A bit after Because the Internet. So he'd just gone through, done his big concept album, this whole sort of commentary on the current state of the rap world, but also his own life and how the internet plays into that, especially as the internet's evolving from its sort of Tumblr era to, we had a large chunk of, I don't know, the black internet experience, especially in the region that Donald Glover was growing up in, had things like WorldStar and stuff like that. And it's very sort of aggressive and I don't know, it really plays into the who has beef with who, let's make something out of nothing. Let's make this an aggressive space. Kawai is kind of the antithesis to that in a bit. This one might be set in the world of Because the Internet. He references going to Kawai, which is this lovely sort of beachy area. This is all about just hanging out with friends on the beach, getting high, and having sort of existential, maybe worldly thoughts. Strong beach high vibes. The song Pop Thieves is really great. The second half transitions from Donald speaking possibly as the character of the boy to Jaden Smith.
Oh.
Jaden Smith.
Son of Will Smith?
Son of Will Smith. What I find really interesting about that is because Jaden Smith is basically a real-life version of the character the boy.
Huh. Hang on, wait. So it transitions to Donald Glover being Jaden Smith or to Jaden Smith, the real person?
Jaden Smith, the real person. So Donald Glover probably as the character of the boy is speaking, given a bit of a rambling, and then their sentence transitions into Jaden Smith continuing the story that's being spoken. Now, Jaden Smith, really does match up to the boy in the way of famous, rich father, has some, rap endeavors, but really is just kind of known at the time, at least, for saying random shit on the internet. Because the internet, the boy says, my job's, I guess, tweeting when he's asked what his job is. Jaden Smith was very famous for going on Twitter and just giving weird comments, weird posts, weird, once again, sort of existential, like, what if we just did this thing? Like Jaden Smith in 2016, 2017 created a water company called Just.
Oh, I remember Just Water.
Yeah, it's still around. It's like 100% recycled packaging, all locally sourced water from wherever it's being distributed. Because it's like, why? Apparently, you went to the beach one time. It's like, why is there so many water bottles around? Why aren't they like recyclable, compostable, whatever? I want to fix this. His big like fixing the world vibes. At the end of Because the Internet, literally the last song, the boy speaks about saying to someone, I want to fix the world, and he needs help with someone. So it is kind of weird how either
closely that aligns, or like which came
first. Was this Donald making a commentary on the lives of these people who are growing up in this day and age with new money families and what to do in that? Like when you're just running around the mansion that you really have not much of a connection to, with friends that are really maybe only your friends because you have money. And you feel bad about that and you want to fix things, but you really don't know how to go about that.
How, in terms of wealth, where was Donald Glover at in 2014 or 13? Like,
so, yeah.
Was that his story yet?
Not, well, kind of at this point.
Yeah.
He, at around Because the Internet, that's when he'd been signed to a label for a bit. He was doing a big production, big tours. Also, he had been on 30 Rock. Like, he had also been on Community. He was on the up and up, for sure. And he was sort of proving his stance within the rap world. Yeah. Monetarily, I couldn't tell you, but he was at least very well connected.
Yeah.
Like, he was hanging out with Tina Fey because he knew her from 30 Rock. He was hanging out with Chevy Chase, like it or not. That man's like an SNL legend. Yeah. He sucks. But, you know, like, he's hanging around people with money, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, okay.
But he's not someone that grew up with that. Retro, this song on this album, he has a line, Royalty, I'm the boss, I ain't gotta work. Royalty is sort of his rap, not even rap group, but his creative group that he created that also they are the people that work on Atlanta and other projects that Donald Glover produces. And he also has a line, Down Under Surfing on the Gold Coast. So that's a little reference.
That's us.
That's a little reference. I want to talk about this album art though, because I saw this in real life, but it was just this imagery. And I was like, that's where this got inspo from. And I saw this on a sticker on a fence in Queensland.
Whoa.
I was up there with my family on like a 2-week road trip. One of the few times we went on a holiday, and I saw it and I freaked out. I was like, why is this here? What do you mean? Like, what is this? Because it also had some sort of connection to a local council.
Whoa.
Or something like that. and I did some research.
Oh my
and kind
God.
of found out what it's sort of
No.
connected to. It's actually the flag of Outback Australia.
What?
The region of Outback Australia. We have a bunch of like country regions. I don't know
Yeah.
how much they're connected to like indigenous regions, but it's very similar at least to that.
Wow.
So
what the heck?
in my mind, I'm like, well,
Gold Coast.
they came down under, surfing on the Gold Coast. They saw this. They were like, this is great. I'm going to use this sort of imagery
What the
for my
heck?
album art.
I didn't know we had an Outback that was like a recognized.
Yeah, technically we do. And yeah, it gets way more dense, like all of the different country regions as it gets to the coast, as sort of we have with everything else.
Yeah. Wild.
Yeah. So on Late Night in Kawai, I will say Jaden comes back on this track. And we also have the line, "We are becoming God." And I'm just going to place that there. But
Okay.
that's a little thing that we've sort
Okay.
of seen. We have a little reference of we are becoming God in Because the Internet, and we have it here. But that's Kawai. One of my
Great.
favorite albums. And last year or the year before, they finally released it as a vinyl on like
Oh, sick.
World Record Day or whatever. And I got it, and I flipped out when I saw it in the record store. And it's one of the things that I hold proudest because it's genuinely, it's a short EP, but it's one of the best in the discography.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
Great to just put on in the background and chill to.
I'm going to have a look at this one that is a very similar image to Kawai. It's still got the semicircle from the center line to the top half, but it's got blue on the top, yellow on the bottom this time, which again looks like a sunset on a beach, but different.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that you said royalty was prominent around this time, and also the fact that the title royalty and the title Kawai are written in caps, I'm going to guess that royalty is the name of that album.
I really love your thought process, and not gonna lie, like you're on the right track, and I'm glad that you're making these connections.
God damn it.
You are wrong though.
All right, then I'm going to guess that it's STNMTN.
Successfully petitioning to recarve his own face in the stone mountain.
Stone Mountain, baby.
All right.
Correct.
I was like, Station Mountain? Station Wagon Mountain? Like, what is it?
Stone Mountain. So this is a mixtape that came out on the 2nd of October, 2014. So the day before. This first, like listening to this, all of Donald Glover's music was the first time I've engaged with this. First time I really knew it existed. And this is kind of a mixtape that's made for me.
Yeah?
In the way of, in the last few years, I have been obsessed with Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler, the Creator, which is an album that is DJ'd by DJ Drama, who does ad-libs throughout the whole album. It's a Gangsta Grillz tape, essentially, which is what DJ Drama's sort of tapes are when he works with an artist and does live music. This is a DJ Drama Gangsta Grillz mixtape.
Okay.
And Stone Mountain, which we've had references to in other things, is basically the place where Donald Glover grew up in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. It looks like Uluru in the album art. I'll say it.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, this Stone Mountain, Atlanta, Georgia, land-based. So I think this is I really liked your pickup on the flipping of the yellow and the blue, because this would be a sunset on land.
Yep.
This album starts out with the song Dream, where it's basically Donald Glover or the boy saying, I had a dream, I ran Atlanta. This radio station was still on. This other radio station still played the music that they used to. This place was still open, really harkening back to his childhood connecting with Atlanta music. And it finishes with, and I had my own Gangsta Grillz mixtape. And then we enter with DJ Drama. And so all of this feels like a bit of a childhood passion project, I guess. Less of, I don't know, what's it called when an artist does
Like a retrospective?
no, when they do
Autobiography?
a fun run.
What?
Not a fun run. You know what I mean? A lap, victory lap. This is less of a victory lap because it's not just like boasting his current status, but like really, harkening back to what he has loved and this particular niche. It also has, it's a bit Atlanta vibes. There's a song in it that isn't really a song. It's called Childish Gambino at the Atrium. Atrium's a venue in Stone Mountain.
Yep.
It is just like a radio bit where they're advertising this show that Childish Gambino is coming in. And it's this radio host really hamming it up. And they're like, Childish Gambino coming at the Atrium. And it cuts to a clip of Childish Gambino and it's really like chill, like, yeah, I can't wait to come back to Stone Mountain. It'll be great, I guess. See you soon.
Whoa,
Like,
Jeff Goldblum? Where did you come from?
all right, fuck you. But it ends with like, and I assume this is an actual cut to what they do on these sort of radio stations, but they're like, if you know the Atlanta twerk team, you get in free. If you go to Stone Mountain High School, you get in free. Like all of that stuff, which is very funny. It's like every athlete ever from Atlanta will be there. It's so sick. But it really feels like an Atlanta skit. Like that skit from when Paperboy was on that
Oh,
TV
jeez. Yeah.
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 Oh, yeah, and it also ends with, and have a happy Martin Luther King Day, which I think is funny. It's great. And we also get a reference in the song You Don't Have to Call to Lithonia, which is a town nearby in Georgia.
Oh, wait a second.
Yeah. And the album ends with, and then I woke up, as if it was all a dream.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Something fun about Stone Mountain, Georgia, which is, there's a particular line in another album, but I can't remember where it is, so
We'll find
mention
it.
it now.
Yeah.
Stone Mountain is basically like conservative, a more conservative Mount Rushmore. It is a literal
More
mountain.
conservative.
It is a literal mountain
Yeah.
where not just the faces, but the bodies and the horses of Confederate soldiers
Oh, boy.
are carved into.
Oh, shit.
So that's just something
Well, that's
interesting.
relevant. So Stone Mountain
Yep.
came out, which was a mixtape, and then a day later, Kawai, which was originals, came out?
Yeah, so yes. Stone Mountain, a mixtape is a body of work which includes sampling from music, but they're not even bothering trying to get it cleared. So
Yeah.
they might use, I don't know, like with The Younger I Get, a clip of a Michael Jackson song. But instead of trying to get it cleared with their legal team, they just release it online for free.
Yeah.
This is a full album released online for free. Kawhi is like a shorter
That's an EP of his stuff.
EP.
Yeah.
And Kawhi included the beach version of 3005, which helped figure out what the secret track was on.
Yeah.
So that's why it wasn't figured out for like another year. This is the web of connections making sense?
It is now.
Sick.
I don't know if it was the break in between or something, but I'm like, I get it.
Yes.
That said, I'm stuck. All right. There's one here. There's an album here that's just called EP. And I know that often early in an artist's career, they will release one that's just like self-titled and then EP. So I'm then looking at the album art that looks like it came from early in his career. And I'm going to guess that this one here is EP.
You're wrong.
I'm going to guess that this one here is EP.
You're wrong.
I'm going to guess that this one here is EP.
You're wrong.
All right, I'm going to leave that one for a bit.
Because you are counting every time you get
I
one
okay,
wrong.
I know. So that
You
was
brute
3
force
strikes.
last time
I did.
to get, what did you get with the brute force? Mystery Team EP or maybe Summer Pack?
No, both of those I thought of.
Okay, who knows?
Oh no, you right. No, you help me
was
push
Fuck
through.
Yourselves.
Fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Okay. I'm gonna have a look at Illinois, the Sufjan Stevens remix album. Is it this one?
No,
Is it this one?
no.
I think I asked that last week, but I had to be sure. Okay, last guess. Is it this one?
No.
Oh no.
You're really
Oh,
going
no.
for, I feel like if you're, going for a Sufjan Stevens remix album, you've got to go for ones that visually look like the Sufjan Stevens vibe. Like you pointed at a
Yeah.
very, like, I don't know, crude MS Paint drawing of a person's face, a little girl asleep in like the backseat of a car
Yeah.
maybe, and then a DJ deck.
They just that one of the kids stands out because it's so well. Actually, both. Wait a second. Both of those are like black and white monochrome. So is the wild raucous festival party one, but that's a different vibe. Is this Sufjan Stevens?
The one,
The big empty desert with cutouts of a man and a little goat?
All things go, drove to Chicago. All things know, all things
Or
that
whatever?
that is
Oh God.
Illinois, the Sufjan Stevens remix album.
All right.
This is a second release.
Oh, Illinois as in Illinois?
As in
Noise?
Illinois. This one came out on the 27th of August, 2005. This is an MC DJ release.
How
Sufjan Stevens famously started this endeavor of creating one album for every of the 50 states in America.
Huh.
I think he got like 7 in and quit. And this is a remix album of some of the songs on Illinois. Illinois, and then this is Illy-Noise. Look, if you want to seem cool and edgy, play this, right? It's a rap artist remix album of a very chill vibe. I don't have a lot to say on this, but I will say the song Chitown is really good, which is Chicago, the original song by Sufjan Stevens remixed. Now, I actually used this secretly when we most recently talked about The Bear on this podcast. I put in Chitown as a little tease as the audio excerpt, because previously I'd used Chicago, the original.
Yeah, okay.
That was fun. Yeah.
That's great.
Great job. I'm glad you
great.
finally got that.
Yeah.
If you like Sufjan Stevens and want something kind of, I don't know, a bit different, yeah, check it out.
Is this one EP?
That's not EP.
Is this one EP?
The one that says MCDJ,
Yeah.
that's not an E. No. Okay, so let's break this down. So we know what a mixtape is.
Yeah.
An
And then-
LP/an album is like a long play, like a full release. An EP is an extended play, which is
Just a few songs.
just a few songs.
And a single is a single, and there's none of
Yes.
those left?
Now mixtapes are all going to be
MCDJ.
MCDJ. However, there are some, like Stone Mountain is the Childish Gambino one. So
So there are no rules.
an EP is going to look a bit more professional. Is going to look like it's the first thing that Childish Gambino released through proper means.
Yeah.
Proper means, you know.
Yeah. Is this EP?
That's not EP.
Did I ask that already?
The janky photo of the DJ set in black and white is not EP.
We're moving on from EP. EP can go over here in the corner. Okay. Is this Utterances of the Heart?
No.
I hope you're having fun.
Childish Gambino in the corner with a weird green blob next to him.
That green blob I can't figure out. It's really driving me nuts.
It's not even where the title is.
That was my only guess.
And there's like a scratchy speech bubble.
With like symbols in it.
and the Chappelle Show and the Family
Family
Guy
Guy.
poster in the background. No.
Is this camp?
Best one. It's a bonfire. Turn the lights out. I'm burning everything you motherfuckers.
That one there?
The one that
Describe
looks
it-
like a camp?
The one that looks
It's
like a
got
camp?
sunlight going through the trees and also it's in widescreen?
That one's camp.
I need a win, goddammit.
Camp is the first album released through a record company by Childish Gambino. This one released on the 15th of November, 2011. This is a fun one. This also was fucking panned by critics.
Nice.
Everyone hated it. It has a very low score on Pitchfork. A lot of people really don't like it. Fans of him think that it's good.
Yeah.
People who aren't really critics think that it's good. But for whatever reason, apparently it's not that great. It has a lot of stuff that ties to his sort of earlier work, kind of, honestly, the younger I get a bit, talking about his experience as a black kid growing up in all of the sort of places that he hopped around. But he has a line, actually, that is the only black kid at a Sufjan Stevens concert.
Nice.
So, yeah, it sort of really shows how he doesn't fit into these sort of, I don't know, defined groups that was perpetuated at the time of what it means to be what. Yeah. But he also, with this album, while he knows that he doesn't fit into what's considered classic Black American rock, Black American rap, he believes that there's a niche for what he likes, which is nerd rap, I guess. It's sort of been titled by some people. And he was one of the people to really push that. And I think Camp did a lot for that. Bonfire is probably the best well-known song from the album. It has these droning sirens for this like really kind of angry, energetic flow, and it sort of goes all the way through. Even the choruses feel really aggressive and they fit very well into the verses. But it really embodies the title of Bonfire. Yeah, it's like I'm burning everything. Fuck everyone. I'm gonna do me. Yeah. It really feels like the whole album is saying, I'm here and I'm going to be me. Fuck you, everyone else who wants me to be something else.
And the establishment went, no.
And they're like, no, actually, this isn't very good. But this sort of slows down at the end of it, where it breaks down to just the strings and the drums and the choir. And we get this sort of story that's written by one of Donald's friends, someone that he's worked with on previous albums. And it's a story about going on camp, thinking that you're going to just be hanging out with your buddies or like boys all the time and just running amok. but he actually finds this girl that he really likes and spends the whole time with her. So it's really slow. Like they really take care with this story to make you feel it and get that childlike, I don't know, that childlike crush, I guess. And as this story continues and continues, and it follows like him confessing to her on the bus home, the beat speeds up, like it really builds that tension to the release where he finds out that while he just confessed to her after he fell asleep on the bus, she went and told other people about it, and now they're making fun of him for it. And it sort of resolves with him saying, fuck it, I'm going to make it all for everybody. If I told you this one thing that was close to my heart and you told everyone, I'm just going to make it all for everybody. Everybody can't turn around and tell everybody. Everybody already knows. And that, I think, really connects to this character of the boy in his next release, because the internet, not only like figuratively of like, I'm going to be posting all the time and like more of the character, but literally because the screenplay for Because the Internet starts with this kid getting off the bus from camp and getting picked up by his father's like company driver or whatever. So it pulls a very much a switcheroo, because you're like, oh, this is Donald Glover, even though it's written by his friend. It's like, oh, this is a story that connects to Childish Gambino and it could be real. And then Because the Internet twists that and says, no, this is a different reality where that lesson that boy took takes him in a different spot because of his position in the world, because of his family. Yeah. Very good album. Very good continuity.
Intertextual.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Camp, baby.
Now I feel like a fool because I think I figured this one out and I can't believe I missed it. I am returning to the one that I've been calling, that's like monochrome New Year's Eve festival vibe. Gee, does the one that's a picture of a cul-de-sac have the album titled Cul-de-sac?
Yes. For a second there, I thought you were going to say it's the New Year's Eve extravaganza.
No, I tried that last time.
This is Cul-de-sac. Cul-de-sac released on the 3rd of July, 2010. Now, he starts this song, this album, with a song called Difference. Basically just saying, I'm built different. That's the whole thing.
Nice.
Like, I know what I'm doing. I've been a writer on 30 Rock. I know my comedic tendencies. I know how to write rap music well. I'm just different to all of these other rappers. The second song is called Hero, which is orchestrated like a superhero theme song. Like it feels like a Spider-Man theme song. It has the strings, it has the horns, it's great. And at this point, he's post Donald for Spider-Man as well.
Yeah.
So it kind of leans into that, which is very fun. This is also the first album that is produced by Ludwig.
Oh, here we go.
And my God, you can tell. Like, it's like night and day for the music before this, where presumably he was just doing it himself. I think it's probably good that he spent so much time doing this DJ stuff, producing his music himself. But once you get like someone to work with who really knows what they're doing, it really feels like it's coming together.
They met on Community, right?
Yes, they met on Community. Ludwig was doing the music for that show. But it's the first sort of like, damn, this man can make music. And also it has a song that samples Adele's Melt My Heart to Stone. And people really liked that. So, yeah.
That song or that reference?
The sample, like he speaks on it on other albums being like, I had people from home being like, damn, Adele's pretty good actually. Like, you made that sound great. So, yeah, Cul-de-sac, baby. What have you got next for me?
Is this one EP?
I didn't know we had it in them. Couldn't see me as Spider-Man, but now I'm spitting venom. Now you paying attention. Pick your fucking...
That one's EP.
Thank fuck. Losing my mind over here.
How did you connect that?
The thing about trying to be prestigious.
Okay.
It's a little pretentious. It's Autumn Leaves. It's nothing but Autumn Leaves for your first big release.
Okay.
It checks out, you know?
I thought you
also, I'd eliminated everything else.
thought you might have made the connection because like Camp,
no.
It's a prelude to Camp.
No.
It's the EP that comes out before that.
No.
It's in the forest. Okay. EP is great. I think EP got a bit better of a reception than Camp did critically. I was also maybe going to skip EP. There are a few that I was going to skip while doing this because I was running out of time, and I'm so glad that I didn't.
You've said that every time. Every time you're like, I almost didn't listen to this.
It's just too good. Be Alone is fantastic. On this, he really talks about I'm changing from my acting career to my music career. He also has... Sorry.
No. Want a drink?
I'm out of drink.
You want water drink?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Wow. Great, thank you. Freaks and Geeks is basically the standout song on this, I think. Which just like every setup has a great punchline and it's consistent. It really shows that his comedy helps with his wordsmithmanship.
Oh, the irony.
Like, fuck you. I feel like the way that he forms the lines and jokes is also, like in his rap bars, is also kind of how I form my jokes or what I find the funniest. Like, I really notice that.
Start at the end?
Yeah, start at the end. Like, give the punchline later or, like, make it really confusing what the punchline is.
Yeah.
Like the line, took the G out your waffle, all you got left is your ego. You're like, what? Oh, egos. Oh, you just took one of the G. Like,
Oh my God.
yeah. Yeah.
Jeez.
Or like,
Oh, that's good.
or like, you're fucking with the baddest, like we tag team Rihanna. Like we're tag teaming Rihanna. Because it's like, you're having a threesome with Donald Glover and Rihanna.
Yeah.
So you're fucking with the baddest.
Oh my God. So many layers to this. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's really good. And I think this also really leans into this sort of idea of rappers unlike other artists, they're not very subtle with things. Or they become more subtle lately.
Yeah.
But he does have a line saying rappers have no luxury of subtlety, which is really true for his earlier work where he's just telling it how it is, speaking his own truth. But also he does have some insecurities about that. In his earlier work on the MC DJ stuff and some very early Childish Gambino stuff, he raps in a higher voice. And it's rumored that is because he didn't want other people at NYU, where he was studying at the time, to know.
Whoa.
Yeah. And he's also commented in a song that he raps under the moniker Childish Gambino so that his family doesn't really connect it to him. So there's a bit of like,
Whoa.
I'm speaking my truth. There's a bit of a I want to post this to my story, but only my close friends.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or only anti-close friends.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
The people who don't know me well.
Yeah.
Who can sort of enjoy this without connecting it to me as a person. Yeah. But that's EP.
That's great. The little smiley, little emoji boy on a black square, is that Poindexter?
It's not Poindexter.
Shoot.
But a word that you said there really was good. You're on it.
Little smiley boy. Sick boy?
It's Sick Boy.
I will take that crutch, and with it I will limp onward.
Sick Boy came out on the 5th of June, 2008. This one is where he
Oh,
was...
he's a little sick boy. He's got the flushed, feverish cheeks, and he's sad.
Oh, I didn't even notice
He's a little
that.
sick boy.
I think he's got one of those... What are those...
Like a beanie?
No, the water things.
Hot water bottles?
Yeah, but like the ones you put on your head.
Oh, like a beanie with water inside. Like a hot water glove, but a beanie version. That's really smart.
No.
I should patent that because I came up with the glove thing, and this is basically that.
Maybe it's ice that they put in them. I don't know. I've never used one of those things. You know when you see like a classic imagery of someone being sick and they have a thermometer in their mouth and that bag on their head?
I've never seen this bag on the head bit.
All right.
Maybe it's a
Someone
US
needs to educate
thing.
you. Maybe. But in this one, he does have that sort of nasally hiding his identity voice. In the song, this is released under the moniker Childish Gambino. And in the song I'm a Winner, he shouts out some people who helped with the album, including MC DJ.
Oh, come on, mate.
Which is like, can you even call yourself out? Like be like, shout out Donald Glover for like writing the lyrics to this.
Yeah.
MC DJ for doing the music and Childish Gambino for rapping on it. He also shouts out Stephen Glover, who is his brother and has done a bunch of his work with
Is that the first reference to his family in his music?
Probably not.
Directly
no,
like that.
because like in The Younger I Get, he talks about his cousin. But like,
Sure, but that one wasn't designed for...
wasn't a name thing. Yeah. The song Love is Crazy has the same instrumental as Pop Thieves on Kawai, which is
Wild.
so good. And this also has some really funny lines. There's a line saying that like, I'd have a sex change just so I can have your baby. I don't know if that's necessarily funny, but I'm like,
Oh,
sweet. We also like used to live in a time where it's like that wasn't as loaded as it is now.
yeah. Maybe because it's more doable now.
Maybe because it's more feasible now.
Yeah.
But yeah, him saying, I'd have a sex, that's actually a sweet one. The funny one, there actually is no funny one. Because the other one that I have right now written down is men do huddle, girlfriends cuddle. That's also a sweet one. Like, damn toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Why can't we just cut? Like,
Yeah.
girlfriends get to cuddle.
Yeah.
Men do fucking huddle. That's
What up with that?
fucked.
Yeah.
He also says my name's Bambino on the song My Hoodie. And that's interesting because he tests that a couple of times, changing his name to Bambino or Bambino X, but never fully follows through with it. But there's this moniker thing happening.
Yep.
Also, the second verse is Chaz Kangas. A lot of some of this early information that I got online was from Chaz Kangus's Tumblr page, so shout out to him.
Wow.
He also has his own music, and I like that his Tumblr says, I'm still posting on Tumblr, so you don't have to.
Nice.
Very good.
Nice. Is
yeah.
Tumblr still around?
Yeah, it's still around.
Wow.
Significantly worse
Yeah.
for unknown reasons. But June 2008, Sick Boy. There you go.
All right. I'm having another crack at this grey square with MC DJ on it, which we know from last week isn't any of the ones with MC DJ in the album title name, but I think that it might be a bit of a fun run, if you will, a victory lap. And I think it might be The Works, The Remixes Volume 1.
You are correct.
Yes!
Great. This one came out sometime in 2009.
Cool.
I don't have a direct date. The only note I have here is it's a mix of songs from Illinois, Applesauce, and the album MC DJ is a very funny DJ with a couple of other things. It's basically just a compilation album. It's like here is my best stuff.
Yep.
It is volume 1. Volume 1 of how many?
1.
1. Never comes back to it. And never will?
Taking in the tradition of Sufjan Stevens.
Absolutely.
No, never. Well, this is his Bando Stone is his last album.
Maybe he goes back to MC DJ. Is that what
Oh
you're saying?
no, he can't keep doing this. He can't have a final album as every single one of his alter egos.
Coming back as Bambino X.
Oh god. All right. Well, that does what it says on the tin then, doesn't it? Except it doesn't say it on the tin because you scratched it off the tin.
I love some scratch.
Jesus
Make a
Christ.
fun
All right.
noise.
This should be getting easier because there's only 6, 7, 8, 9. There's only 9 to go, but it's getting harder. There's a couple that seem like they're paired up here, but I can't find 2 album arts that are paired that I haven't already guessed. But again, they could be related albums with completely unrelated art. Is this one I Am Just a Rapper?
No.
No, why would it be? That wouldn't make any sense.
But
Fucking
you're on the
stupid.
right track of connecting too, because we do have I Am Just a Rapper and we have I Am Just a
Yeah,
Rapper too.
but I thought I tried these last week, but I might well just go through it. Is this I Am Just a Rapper?
No.
Is this I Am Just a Rapper?
No, there's a completely different album. So what do you mean? What's the connection there? One of them's a blank black
They're both
square,
black squares.
but the other one has a big pink splat on it.
Is this I Am Just a Rapper?
No, that's a DJ set.
gonna
Why
say,
would
I
you
feel
be
like
a
I've
rapper?
asked that
Look
already.
at the albums that you
Is
have in front
that
of them.
MC DJ is a very funny DJ?
I just got
The DJ set?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Great.
you got it. Now that one I thought you'd get way earlier. So much earlier. Kind of a little disappointed that you didn't get the DJ deck photo and connected that to MC DJ.
I'm sorry.
He's a very funny DJ.
There was one that said MC DJ on the art.
This one's also kind of short. This one came out in 2008. This also has one song on it. Well, it's just one long extended set.
Oh yeah, that reminds me of something.
no gaps in between, like an hour long or something. It has a section where he remixes the song Laffy Taffy, which shows up in Atlanta. So I don't know. It just shows that like Donald's been listening to that for a while. It's a popular song, but still a very good one to chuck in there. My issue was when I downloaded this the first time, it was boring as hell. Because it had so many gaps and bits where it just sort of cut out and then it brought in just like random talking, I guess. I don't know. Turns out I listened to a fucking unfinished version of this album. What should have tipped me off is when each song was like 120 BPM, B minor, 14 minutes. Like they were all named something like that. Like it was
Like
segmented.
sample tracks almost.
That it was just the work in progress.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. I listened to the work in progress.
That
of
is
this
kind of cool.
fucking
But
thing.
boring.
So boring. So unbelievably boring.
How long?
I don't know. I don't have the exact
Like
timestamp.
more
on
than
it.
an hour.
Like about an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. It sucked. Anyways, that's it. That's all I'm talking about.
Is this I'm Just a Rapper? They're checking the notes, everybody.
No.
Is that I'm Just a Rapper too?
Dickless prick, man, what the fuck you gonna do? I don't need to talk to you. I am just a rapper too.
Yes.
Do you want to start with the first one though, or do you
what
want
you want.
All right, we'll go straight to 2 then.
All right.
All right.
I'm Just a Rapper 2, released on the 4th of February 2010. This is under the moniker of Childish Gambino. Okay. The Real is a good song on this. It has a great like rock guitar kickstart, and Both Hands is another good song that's kind of cinematic, and it has like a really crescendoing music and like that matches the intensity of the delivery, which makes it really intense to listen to. Otherwise, it's a fine mixtape. Like I'm Just a Rapper 2, meh. But he references it on multiple albums, and within these I Am Just a Rapper, this double set, he has this line saying, I do not talk, I'm just a rapper. Like that's the sort of through line. Take that as you will, you know?
What year was that?
That was 2010.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one also, I will just explain the cover art. It's just Donald Glover with a white shirt. It's open, and it's like taken with a flash digital camera maybe in just a house.
Yeah, very
It's
much
very
so.
kind of low-key.
Yeah, looks like a Polaroid, but that's partly just the printing texture of these. This one with the thought bubble symbols and the green dot, is that Poindexter?
You're not going for I Am Just a Rapper?
No, I gotta save the wins.
Fuck, okay, no, that's not Poindexter.
Shoot.
You wouldn't do the double? Oh my god.
No, I'm gonna come back to it. Is this one here with the kid in the seat, Utterances of the Heart?
Yes.
Thank goodness.
That one was stumping you.
Yeah,
That one really stumped you.
yeah. It could be anything. It's so vague. I figure it's from slightly later. Let me guess. 2012.
You're wrong. It was 8th of June 2006.
Oh, jeez.
This is an MC DJ release.
Really?
Yep. The song Spinning You starts out with a like capitalism critique sort of thing, which is interesting. It feels very like NYU student. Grimy has the first use of Bambino X as a moniker.
1 year in. 2 years in.
Yeah, 2 years in. 1 year in.
Well, you're 2005, right?
2005 to 2006, yeah. And then he also, this is another time where it's Grimy is featuring Bambino X. Like that's the song title. So it's an MC DJ release featuring Bambino X. That's still him.
Yeah. Shout out to myself. Thanks to myself. And also giving a hand up to this new up-and-comer myself.
Right? So silly. Each sort of third of this album is also capped off, or sort of marked with a confession track by someone close to Donald Glover.
Oh, wow.
The first one is Party, which is his friend DC, who talks about when he was at a party and crushing on a girl, but then the girl's friend got sick and then she was taking care of him, but he was like, oh, I still want to get with this girl, but now she's taking care of this friend who also likes her, and he felt guilty about like trying to still get with her even though she was trying to be responsible and take care of this friend. The second one is Love, with a friend named Dominic. Can't remember this one. And then the last one is Fear, with Becca speaking on like a time that I think her dad like cut his finger off or something.
Whoa.
And then there was a whole family crisis. But it's just like, I guess, utterances of the heart, if you will.
It's a good name for an album.
It's a good name. Bad album art.
Yeah.
If I Also Will.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a very lo-fi album. This album, while it was good when I listened to it properly, the first time I listened to it was an unfinished version of all the tracks. Like
How unfinished?
Like it was very there were just spaces when there was no sound or just sort of like crackling.
Yeah.
The capitalist critique speeches that I mentioned were in the song Spinning You.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like a little snippet of a speech and then a big valley of nothing. And then it came back again and there was like very minimal beat or no beat. All the songs, what should have tipped me off is each song was titled like 120 BPM B minor or whatever. And I don't know, I didn't clock it and I was like, this is weird and experimental, but whatever, it was early work.
Yeah.
No, I listened to like an unfinished version of this. Is that cool? Like maybe, but also it took me like an hour to listen to all of these fucking unfinished ones before I realized that I downloaded not the finished version.
Yeah, which is available?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
I got to it in the end. But God, it was annoying to listen to the first time. I'm glad you finally paired that one up. You only got a few left.
I think I've got 6 to go and I think I can get them all in a row here.
All right.
However, if I make a mistake, it'll be right now. So I don't want to make any promises. Is the Donald Glover sitting sadly in a chair with Cymbals and Green and Family Guy, is that the New Year's Eve extravaganza mix?
It is.
Okay, good.
This one came out, get this, New Year's Eve, 31st of December, 2007. This is an MC DJ release. And all of the songs on this album are just called Faux Show, but Faux Show Part 1, Faux Show Part 1.5.
Oh my
Faux Show
God,
Part 2,
this guy.
right? He then has Faux Show Part 3 Extra in parentheses. Faux Show Part 1 has the song, it samples the song Cool It Now by New Edition, which even references in a later song, maybe I think in Camp, maybe. So that's another fucking thread on the board, what connects to what. Faux Show Part 1.5 has Island in the Sun by Weezer. It samples the same melody as Kickin' Dirt in Love Letters in an Unbreakable Bottle. This is just like a bunch of, because it is just kind of like this DJ set. There isn't any rapping unless it's using the song, the original song that he's sampling. It's just this sort of New Year's Eve party mix. I assume for what he, like his set list of what he played on the night of the 31st of December 2007, which is kind of really sick. Even Gimme 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 from ABBA is in part 3 extra. Part 3.5 abruptly cuts off at one point. Like that's the last one. And I think that's for the countdown.
Yeah.
Maybe. And this is, I don't know, it's really sick because it starts pretty chill, gets kind of amped up, you know, a bunch of kind of popular songs, goes to some classics nearing the end. And then for like 3.5, it gets sexier. Like it gets sexier as it goes in that sort of way of trying to map the mood of a party as it gets later and later as people get drunker and drunker.
Yeah.
And I think this, while this might seem like an inconsequential release for Donald Glover, as we see in his later stuff, like Because the Internet, Awaken My Love, and basically all of the album tours that he's done, he really emphasizes providing an experience. He really leans into, I want to create a space in which people get to go through these emotions and have this crafted narrative. And I think that New Year's Eve Extravaganza Mix really shows as an early example of that.
You could put this on at 11 p.m. on New Year's Eve and have a free DJ set.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I might do that this year. Like, it's kind of, it's good. It's good and solid, and it does, you know, it is songs from 2007.
Yeah.
Which is still good, but it's also kind of like it really gives a portal into that world. Because it is a New Year's Eve set. It's not just the best of the best. It is what was good at that time.
Yeah.
It's not a retro. You know, you go online and you're like, what was the best music of 2007?
Yeah.
And it'll give you the best songs when we look back at them now. But
Yeah.
when you're looking at them then, whole different story.
Yeah, totally.
What have you got for me next?
Is the blank black square Poindexter?
No.
Shit. All right. So it's royalty.
Yeah, we royalty. You ain't know that? Gotta use the royal wheel right now.
It's royalty.
Who the
It's royalty. Royalty released under the Childish Gambino moniker on the 4th of July 2012. So a bit after EP and a bit after Camp, but before Because the Internet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's one more in between.
This
is the group?
This is sort of the group that he kind of developed for his creative stuff. So it has a bunch of features. One of the first songs, features Stephen Glover, which is one of the only time that he raps ever.
Yep.
He also goes under the moniker Steve G. Lover, which I think is funny. But it really does feel like royalty. Like this album features like Nipsey Hussle, Schoolboy Q, Absol, Bunny B, The RZA, Hypnotic, the Hypnotic Brass Orchestra, fucking Danny Brown, Beck, Chance the Rapper, Gonaj, Daniel Haim from fucking Haim fame.
Haim fame, I heard they're taking a fun run next year.
Once again, I just want to bring back to Beck. Like, you know, Beck, like
no.
sort of indie rock, popular in the mid 2000s.
No.
But like really away from that rap world. And so it's not just royalty of rap, it is royalty of everything that Donald Glover kind of can. Like, I'm sure if he could get Sufjan Stevens on this album, he would. There was also Josh Osho, Kilo Kish, Ali Boy, Swank, Prodigy, J Rock, and fucking, get this, Tina Fey.
What the shit?
Comedian Tina Fey
Oh, from 30 Rock.
raps on one of these songs.
Damn. Which one?
Raps on one of the last songs, which is called Real Estate, which is sort of gloating about having real estate money. And Tina Fey features at the very end of this, which sort of, I think, cements this as a satire song. And she does it in a very like, yeah, I'm a rapper, blah, blah, blah. That's goofy and clearly making fun of the whole thing. But solid album. And also, this is very much, okay, he's been signed to a record label. He can now make connections to all these people. He can bring all these people in who are on the same label, I assume. Like,
yeah, okay.
Yeah. Also, there's a song, Toxic, which is sampling Britney Spears' Toxic.
Excellent.
Which is featuring Danny Brown. And Danny Brown recently partnered up with JPEG Mafia to put out an album called Scaring the Hose, which is like, it's Scaring the Hose music. It is music you put on maybe if you're on a date with someone and it'll scare them off. Like, it's that sort of rap music. It's people that, like, it's music that people are like, maybe this was a bad idea.
Yeah.
If you really want to scare the hose, actually, if you want to scare the hose slightly less, play Toxic.
Okay.
Featuring Danny Brown by Childish Gambino. But yeah, good album. Solid. Well, that's my favorite.
Okay. Wow. Oof. Oh, that's a big question. This is I'm Just a Rapper then.
I do not, I am just a rapper.
The one that is where
Donald Glover just sitting in a house.
In
or
a white shirt.
Hospital? It's a house.
A vague, but very shot the same.
With a cap this time, though.
With a cap this time that you took so long to connect the two. A disappointingly long time.
In New Year's Eve Extravaganza Mix, he's also sitting with the same cap, which he doesn't have in I'm Just a Rapper 2, sitting in a blank white house. So they're also, by utter chance, all three of them are next to each other on this table. So that let me down. I got distracted by that.
Excuses.
Yes.
Let me tell you about I'm Just a Rapper, released on 5th of January 2010. Once again, we have this line coming up again and again. I do not talk, I am just a rapper. In the song Bitch Look at Me Now, Donald Glover maybe references having ADHD.
Oh?
Which is just interesting and I think would make sense. But yeah, I don't know. With the amount of different projects that he does, it's also a super motivational. I don't know. I found it like a very motivational album. A lot of his earlier kind of this era, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking do this and I'm gonna do it how I want, and it's sick. I think that's cool. But yeah, like I Am Just a Rapper too. There's really not a whole lot I have to say on this.
Okay, but you prefer
Otherwise,
this
they're
one?
Fine. I don't know. They're both kind of equal. Once again, they are pre-Ludwig coming in and producing, and they've just not really got the lyrical finesse of something like EP because it's just, I think also having a part 1 and part 2 is like, yeah, I'm just releasing these.
Yeah.
These are just mixtapes that I'm putting out, and I'm just a rapper.
Yeah. Makes sense.
There's not a lot of
How far apart were they?
So the first one came out on the 5th of January 2010. The second one came out on the 4th of February 2010. So a month apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that means that pink paint on black square is Poindexter.
They call me the rock.
That is correct. Imagine if I said it wasn't.
You
Imagine I was like,
can't.
it
I
was-
know the rest of them.
I actually have another envelope.
Ah, well, there is one. I'm writing my score on envelope number 3 over here, but I know exactly what's in there.
On the 17th of September 2009, Childish Gambino released Poindexter. There's no real standouts on this except for the song So Much Better,
my
The
God.
Rockstar and Starlight. Now these, you might be like, well, you played So Much Better last week. Like that was on another album. Yeah, this is another bit of a compilation, a few new songs, a few pulled from other things. That's kind of really all I have to say. You really picked the kind of dull, fine ones for last, which I guess makes sense. You know, probably the ones that are the most iconic, the
Distinct,
most
yeah.
eye-catching.
Yep.
You draw yourselves to.
Speaking of not iconic, not eye-catching, boring, and you have nothing left to say about it, is 3:15:20 this blank white square, Jet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3:15:20. Surprise. Released on blah, 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 blah.
Released on 3:15:20.
Yeah, 15th of March 2020. This one was actually streamed online when it was put out under Donald Glover Presents. So as you also can see, Reuben, listeners, just imagine white. That's what the album cover is. It only had 2 song names, and all the others were just timestamps. Timestamps of where it sort of landed within the whole time count of the album. The first song, 0.00, is very sparse, and it has like one line that's repeated throughout, which is "We are." It's like "We are, we are, we are," and that's it. We are what?
Become God.
We are God?
We are God?
We are God, question mark? Maybe.
Who's to say?
Who's to say? The next song we sort of have that's of note is Algorithm. This one is talks about people being an addict to the algorithm. You know, I sort of touched on these during Ada Vista last week. Did I? How much did I talk about Ada Vista last week?
I've heard it twice, and I don't remember.
All right. Well, I'll give a little bit of a short
Give it to us
rundown
now,
of those songs.
because, yeah.
This one is about, people being an addict to phones, the algorithm. There's a line, made us the guinea pig, did it with no permission.
Yeah,
That's
no,
like-
this you didn't, all new to me.
Yeah, just taking all of the, I don't know. I feel like when you sign up for a new account on something, tick the terms and conditions. You don't really give permission. You don't read it, and they know that. And you're the guinea pig. You're used for your data. There's also a line, dopamine make a hit now. Here's the catch to this song, right? For Algorithm. It's really good and really catchy. And it literally like gives instructions in the chorus, like dance instructions of what
That's
to do
great.
and how to dance to it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So it's all like, it's a song on the commenting on the algorithm while it's also like being very obvious with how it's using those things, I guess. Like the whole song also has sort of auto-tune to the voice, showing how fake it is. There's also the line, take a bite of the apple and crush it into the sauce, which I think is like take a bite of Eden's apple, knowledge, and crush it into the sauce. The product, the algorithm, what we're doing with the music industry at this stage.
That's a good line.
Getting all of the information and just fucking making distilling it down into this perfect thing.
That's good. It's a good line.
There's also, he says, like, we can't have truth without experiencing what could be false, like, or being lost. We can't have truth without being lost, which I think is, again, talking about, like, we can't be doing this where we're only doing what perfectly works. Because then we're not actually knowing the truth. You know, it's like you can't have the good without the bad. And that's what the music industry is kind of at on a larger scale at this stage, on a big production, multi-million-dollar company scale, where it's like we just want the good stuff and we know how to get it because we're using the algorithm to tell people what they want. We're telling them how to dance. Yeah.
Nice.
So I think like 3:15:20, it's my brain's sort of done this massive jump right now as we've gone from this earlier stuff
Yeah.
to like this very, commenting on the world as a whole. Yeah, I think 35, 31 also. I didn't name the fucking thing.
I know.
Also talks about sort of the music industry and how glamorizing it is, like for black artists to sell drugs as like they're saying, you do this and you get money and you live this lifestyle. Did Donald Glover at some point sell drugs? Maybe, maybe not.
Just to say, hey.
Because the internet references the boy doing that at the end of the story. I don't know. Also, the last couple of lines on this song are a backwards version of the verse on the next song, 4226, which is Feels Like Summer from the Summer EP or the Summer Pack EP. This was taken off 3/15/20 when it was released as Ada Vista. Look, this album is like, I wrote this album is future reflective. What the fuck does that mean?
Like instead of past reflective,
I think I'm trying to connect it to the world of the boy in this narrative.
okay.
And it is looking back on how music is made in the current state. I think future reflective because at the end of Because the Internet, the boy dies.
Oh, okay.
So it's like in this dead state, what does he look back on? Oh, actually, it's post fucking Awaken My Love. Who knows? Who fucking knows? And then 2419, I think is a continue of California from Awaken My Love. It talks about someone, the California dream is a fairy tale and someone's moved to California and it's gratitude from love, less mature and less different of this person who's like, oh, I just want this quick sort of, I don't know, feeling of joy of this fairy tale of California. And they're also in love with Donald Glover. And they're like, I don't know, they like appreciate the love of the quick stuff, but know that it comes from a good place sometimes when it's like people who have been duped into believing in that. But still critical of it. This whole album kind of sounds very, I don't know, it's all very fuzzy, all very techie, and Ada Vista was good because it fixed it. But however, was this fucking an actual release or was it not?
Yes. He released it.
He released it and it's come out quote unquote unfinished.
Sure.
Did people at the time review it as unfinished? No, it wasn't until Ada Vista came out as a precursor to Bando Stone.
Yep.
But then also it doesn't have names for a lot of the stuff.
Yeah. I think this was something unfinished but that's a choice, right? You don't accidentally put that up
Who
on
would
YouTube.
choose to listen to fucking a whole unfinished album and then realize, oh shit, there's a finished version that was right there that I haven't gotten to yet.
Pulls Ada Vista out from between the couch cushions. Oh shit, it was here the whole time. Finished.
I have a theory about 3/15/20, which was one of the reasons why I wanted to go on this kind of journey, which is...
Take us there.
We talked about last week about how Donald Glover is kind of driven by spite in some regards. People saying he can't do this or his assumption that other people think that he can't do things. Redbone on Awaken My Love was built from people saying, you can't make a hit.
And he said, yes, I can, and I can do it without a music video.
Exactly. No song on that album has a music video. And so I feel like he was trying to push himself with 3/15/20. He was trying to say, I can make
deliver a raw music file.
Right?
It doesn't need a title.
Doesn't need a title, doesn't need album art, doesn't need anything, doesn't need to say who features on it, nothing. And it's going to be weird and wacky and kind of experimental and different, even to Awaken My Love. And it's going to go great. And no one fucking noticed. It released, people like...
Well, bad timing, mid-March 2020.
Absolutely bad timing. But also, would anyone have noticed regardless?
I got my doubts.
People, I know a lot of people who really like Childish Gambino and always work, and especially like even the transition from Because the Internet into Awaken My Love, that R&B real switch up, don't like this album. And even with the re-release of Ada Vista, it's like, yeah, it's better. You kind of, you tightened it up. It does sound better. We did lose some things, but it does sound better. It's just not up to snuff to what people were expecting. So I think he was really driven on, fuck you.
Yeah.
I could do this without anything. And he couldn't.
So now he's doing a movie.
Asterisk. Maybe. Yeah. So this actually does have one interesting thing. It did have like preliminary cover art. that looked a lot like Cul-de-sac.
Ah.
It was chaos in the streets. This was also the time of the Black Lives
2020.
Matter movement and the start of COVID. So it really, I don't know, that was a very obvious sort of connection. But then released with no white square, even with Ada Vista, like he folded a little bit.
Yeah.
It says Ada Vista. It's faint in the middle, but it says Ada Vista. I think maybe just commit to it. Look,
You don't like the compromise once you're that far in.
no. And I would really love to know what the plan was.
Yeah.
Was this a fuck you behind the scenes of I have this work and I want to put it out and people aren't letting me, or this is, this will screw over some sort of record deal? Because we have that a lot. We had that with Frank Ocean. We have that with Taylor Swift to some degree, saying, I'm going to do this on my terms, so I'm just going to chuck it out there.
Yeah.
We don't know. Will it come out at some point? Probably not, because at this point, unlike the period where Donald Glover was being a rapper, just a rapper, some might say, he was saying it all. He was saying what's going on in his life. There's a song on one of the earlier mixtapes where it's like this love dedication to someone. And then on EP, he quotes like the first couple of lines, and then he says, that stuff I sung to you when you were sleeping with other people. So it really, you get a deep dive of like, oh shit, this is how he's feeling at this point. And then fuck, that person screwed him over. And you just know what's actually going on. And then we have this creeping into this narrative of like, who is Donald Glover Childish Gambino? Who is the boy? Is this a separate thing? I think really because the internet happened, that the boy character became that split and kind of, I guess it leads into connects to the end of camp, him saying, I'm going to make everything for everyone. But now it's actually not, it's all fictional. But then again, he's speaking in terms of connecting things to his own life because the internet and very much like Awaken My Love and 3:15:20 Ada Vista, speaking to his family, his partner, his children, giving them advice on how to maneuver the world. Literally at the end of 3:15:20, he has a bit of his kid in that. But it's very much a check yourself song. This song is 53:49. And it really feels like the end. He says, I did what I wanted to. Stay true to himself. But he also talks about like self-love is important, but don't be the devil. Don't have money without any morals, ignore false ones. It feels like the end. And it was meant to be the end.
Yeah.
He said this is the end. In 2019, he says this is my last tour. He played a few songs from 3:15:20 on the tour. He played Algorithm and then one that showed up in Ada Vista. But he's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And he released the album. And I think, honestly, maybe the connection to it being unfinished is him not closing the loop.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because a lot of these albums work as a loop.
Yes.
They start and end with the same tune, the same sort of thing. 3:15:20 does it because the internet does it. Even Stone Mountain being like, I had this dream and then I woke up. They can all be seen as sort of these looping narratives. I think he was maybe going to leave the loop open-ended as that being the end. But then he didn't.
How do you want to tackle this?
Well, it's your turn to do your finished it, Reuben.
It is my turn to do my finished it.
Why don't you open up that last envelope you have?
Donald Glover presents the final chapter. I have finished. Donald Glover presents the final chapter. I can't keep up.
What are you connecting here?
Bando Stone in the New World. With the album art for Bando Stone in the New World.
Nobody gives a fuck.
Yes.
Yes. It's Donald Glover wearing a Spam hat and a Hawaiian shirt. He's holding a chicken. He's in the tropics. There's a rainbow on the right-hand side. You know it. You love it. It's Bando Stone, everybody.
Now tell me about this album because this is your finished it.
Well, guess what?
Because I haven't been... What?
What?
No, what?
I finished this.
You finished it?
Yeah, I listened through to this.
Sick.
I didn't like it.
Because I've been listening to... Hold on a second. You can't do a reveal while I'm doing a reveal.
You're doing a reveal?
Yeah, I have
You haven't listened to this?
I have no notes on this album. I've been listening
Oh
to so
my
many
God.
other things. This is your finished it, Reuben. You've got to give me...
But I poured all my thinking into The Younger I Get.
I'm so sorry, but like this is on you.
All right. Bando Stone in the New World, everybody. It started with a trailer. It started with a trailer. No, did it start with the release of Lithonia first? I don't know. Started with a trailer for a Afrofuturist sci-fi adventure film. There's a bunch of the character who Donald Glover presumably plays in the movie that probably doesn't exist is a singer. So again, could be any fucking one of these guys. He's a singer. He gets somehow stranded on an island, it seems, or in the wilderness. He meets a mother and daughter, maybe, or certainly an older woman and a little kid. And she's like a survivalist. At one point, there's a conversation where it's like, do you know how to shoot? Do you know how to lay a trap? Do you know anything? And he's like, I can sing. She's like, you're fucking useless, I'm pretty sure is the line. So you're useless or something is the line. So it seems like this film... Oh, and then there's scenes of them running through the night and it looks like a Jordan Peele horror film and there's like a laser matrix that lights up in the sky. Also, there's a chicken that shows up a couple of times. So it feels like Atlanta vibes in a film, but with some heightened drama and maybe a sense of traversal. We have to, I think at one point there's a line we have to get to the other side. Anyway, this movie doesn't seem to exist, but scattered all throughout the album Bando Stone and the New World, especially at the start and end of songs, are, as if it's a soundtrack album, are bits where it's like, hey, just clips as if they're from a movie. So it's like just 5-10 seconds. One of them's like, okay, I can't do it, says a little kid. And Bando Stone, Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, Bambino, Lex the Boy, whoever the MC DJ, whoever this guy is. So it's like, yeah, you can. Okay, I'm going to count you down. 3, 2, 1, and then the next song starts. Or, there's another conversation between him and the woman about like his complete lack of survival skills. So there's some sort of meta-narrative being woven, but it's pretty sparse. And then in the middle are these songs that I don't like and can't remember for the life of me, where it's like him singing slowly and there's a beat that comes in and often drops. Basically, it's think about Lithonia, the way that changes genre and style and beat, the way that it starts and ends abruptly and the way that it's not very good.
Fuck you.
And do that as if
there's
just make that 10 songs with those elements. It's like that.
That's really fucked up of you saying.
I think you'll really like this album.
I know. Here's the thing. I have listened to it.
Okay.
I just haven't been able to do my extensive notes on it. I ran out of time. Also, I thought it would be funny if you just... this is like a soundtrack album. I watched an interview with Donald Glover speaking about it, being like, I was inspired by Prince doing the soundtrack album for The Batman. 1989.
Well, like Kendrick Lamar did Black Panther, right?
Yeah.
But it's not... Yeah. I always find this thing of like, it's not the music from the film.
But some of it's in it.
Some of it's in it.
Yeah.
But it's it's like a concept album. I find that so odd.
I find it even more odd when I don't know if the movie exists.
Yeah.
Okay. With everything that we know now.
Yes.
How do you think this sort of fits in?
Honestly, this one makes even less sense to me given the context of what we had before. Because like, I'm not hearing a whole lot of continuity. This doesn't seem to be one of the characters who's played in something else. The character in this seems to be a new creation. And yeah, sure, it's a singer, but like he also plays singers and music producers in like Troy sings in Community and Earn producers for Paperboy in Atlanta.
Yeah,
like that's not unusual for him. So I don't think him being a singer necessarily means that like, oh my God, it's the character from one of these albums. I think it's someone else.
What about the name though? You don't think that has any sort of...
What, Bando Stone and the New World?
What does Bando sound like?
Bambino?
No. What is
Band?
Good, close. No, not the band. Lando.
Oh, sure. Yes, okay.
Donald Glover played Lando Calrissian.
Yes, correct.
In Star Wars, the
Solo, Star Wars story,
which
I guess.
Apparently has still a series or something.
Oh yeah,
out.
And there's also 2 more of those movies and whatever. None of that will happen.
But he's clearly a very famous music artist to the level that Childish Gambino is in real life. So I don't know. Yeah, there's that. In the song Lithonia, this is the bit that really hooked me into. I want to delve deep into this, which was in the song Lithonia. There's the line, Cordy LeRae, he had a break, he's finding out that nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, he says it a lot.
He says it a lot in that song. It really hammers it home. Maybe that's the real name of the person who is Bando Stone. Like that, Bando Stone is a stage name, whatever. Yeah. Cordy LeRae is a real person. He had a break from something.
Or like he made his breakthrough, like he... or quarter break. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
could be, yeah.
I was thinking about how there was a big break between Awaken My Love and 3:15:20 where
He's
Donald Glover
finding
didn't
out.
release anything. He
Nobody
finally
gives
did.
a fuck.
Was like, I'm going to create
Yeah.
this experience, and no one gave a fuck.
I think it's wild calling your last album The New World. Like, it makes me again go, all right. Whatever you say.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah. And so then, is this I had more things left to say and I feel that my artistic integrity requires me to say them? Or is this like, I don't want to end it on a sour note, so I'm going to come back? Or is this, I just want to tour again and this is the way that you do that?
Yeah.
Or was this a movie that's in development and it got cancelled and he was like, well, I'm passionate about some of these ideas.
Here's what I know from reading some interviews and watching some other interviews about it. He said that him and Fam, who's a character in multiple of his narratives and also a real life friend and maybe his manager, I don't know. Him and Fam have always talked about this idea of ending and how they really love like the death of Superman, like that sort of giving a big ending to a character. And that is what this is. He has also said that one of the reasons why he's retiring the name Childish Gambino is because he doesn't want to have to keep performing Bonfire from EP.
Yeah.
Like he wants to wrap that up so that he doesn't have to do it. And this kind
Well,
of...
it's been 10, 15 years.
It's been a while. And like the reason why Donald Glover stopped writing on 30 Rock is because he wanted to try new things and he didn't want to have to keep doing
Yeah.
that. Same with Community. He
Community
wouldn't
the
want
same, I was
to
gonna
have to
say.
continue. All of this stuff, Childish Gambino has been maybe his biggest output.
Definitely.
And he doesn't want to have to keep doing it in obligation.
Yeah.
So this is the ending of Childish Gambino, but not necessarily the ending of his music career as a whole. But also, why doing it? Like you didn't do an
fucking
ending
weird way to do it.
fucking, you didn't end MC DJ.
No. Yeah.
Like what is the ending here?
Yeah.
Also, you had an ending. You picked an ending and then it didn't go well.
Yes.
So you just chose to do another ending?
Well, he wanted the big ending, the death of Superman.
I know, and he didn't get that.
Death of Superman doesn't work. If Superman dies in a forest and no one hears him fall, did Superman really die?
Bando Stone dies in a forest with a
Yeah.
chicken.
This is one of my favorite bits of album art. I love the look on his face. It's so expressive.
Very expressive.
What the fuck? It says. You know? It just why is he holding a chicken,
I
man?
don't know.
You know?
Okay, so while I am like, why? I do think that it works sort of as an ending to his kind of ethos of Childish Gambino. There are quite a few songs on the
Which is
album.
I'ma do it.
I'ma do it.
What medium? Yes.
Right? He's like, oh, sort of pop rock, pop punk rock. Yeah, I'll do that. That's fun. Oh, like an Owl City mid-2000s vibe. You know, real corny kind of music. Popular corny music. I'm going to do that for a song. Some stuff like Out of Vista, some stuff like Awaken My Love, all of it's kind of chucked in there. Even some of his earlier stuff, kind of like Camp, like there are a couple of songs in this where it is rapping. Like he is doing this after this break of like multiple, almost a decade of not rapping besides on tours, like on actual releases. He literally says, hey, I'm coming back with that sort of old flow.
And also his stuff in other mediums. Like it's like, I'll do a sitcom. Sure. I'll make an Afro-surrealist freaking television show. Sure.
Yeah.
A Spider-Man? Yeah.
He just does it.
Yeah.
And so this is him, I guess, sort of putting all of that into one album that is, while it is everything, everywhere all at once, bringing it all together, it is also one sort of unified kind of narrative. And I think framing it within a movie soundtrack works well, because when you have a movie soundtrack, it often isn't just like, it's so much different than an album. It's like, what song matches the mood of this scene? I mean, that's kind of what happened for Because of the Internet as well. Like, all the songs are written to the screenplay. Is there a Bando Stone screenplay
I wondered that.
that all of it lines
Maybe
up
it's
with?
hidden in the URL of something somewhere.
Maybe if I fucking put an Adventure Time reference,
Yeah, maybe in a year we'll find it.
if I go into Spotify and just search Lemon Grab, will it show up? Who knows?
Who knows?
But you didn't like it.
No. I like the younger I get much more. I thought, well, at least the things that I liked about that I could name, and the things I didn't like I could name. But here I was like, All right, man. Cool.
Sure.
Which is not that it's to say it's bad. He's probably just so deep in his understanding of the art form that I'm not that connected to that there's a disconnect between us. But yeah, nah.
I thought it was pretty good. I think, honestly, maybe I'm just tired, but I really feel his tiredness of like, if I had to do all of this, like just looking at all of the paper.
It's overwhelming.
It is insane. And I had this feeling, it was in the middle of Because the Internet, actually. I don't know if you've ever gotten this sort of thought, but the thought was, I don't think I could ever match what he's achieved.
No way.
In just like the way of, I don't know, I feel like I'm a person where I'm like, yeah, if I set my mind to something, I can do it. In an individual sense. But just with the breadth of stuff that he's done, I'm just like, God, there are just some people who can do just an insane amount,
No, it's
produce an
crazy.
insane amount, think as an insane amount.
Yeah.
The amount that he did just for Because the Internet.
It is 2 decades of stuff, but also a lot of it's very dense with labor.
Insanely dense with labor. And I get why there have been multiple crises throughout this that he's had and like multiple change-ups because I just, God, I can't believe this.
Yeah, it's kind of, well, I said overwhelming already, and that's all I got. Like, yeah.
We say that while recording the 58th episode of a podcast that we do. Honestly, hey, look, what are these albums? Like an hour a piece?
Oh, mate.
We've kind of produced more than Donald Glover has.
Yeah.
In terms of music, in
Yeah.
terms of audio format mediums.
Nice. Ludwig, we'll give you a ring next week. Oh, goodness me.
I think that'll wrap us up.
All right.
I think that wraps us up
All right.
on Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, MC DJ, Bambino X, Bando Stone. What's happening next? Does he put everything under Donald Glover now? But what happens when he gets sick of that? He's like, I'm sick of the Donald Glover music then. I'll just retire my life? Who knows?
Whoa.
But do yourself a favor. Go listen to Bando Stone and the New World. Form your own opinion. Listen to any of the other music. Go to the effort. If you're fucking like, you know what? Illinois' the Sufjan Stevens remix album sounds really good. I want to listen to that. Go to the effort of finding it online. A lot of this stuff's not on Spotify, but you can find it. And it's worth the extra 5 minutes of just finding something niche, finding something that's not everyone's listening to right now. Put some thought and effort into the music, and it does become a bit more fulfilling. Unless you listen to an unfinished version for an hour that's mostly just like crickets.
Bloopity bloop.